Did the male disciples ever go to Jesus and say, boy, Jesus, I got to tell you, your name is just beautiful. I wish they would have led with what a powerful name, which is also in that song. What a wonderful name. It's just something that guys disconnect. We don't want to sing songs about gazing into your face.
What's the church missing when it comes to connecting with guys?
I think that the average leader in the American church is like a fish in water. Fish don't even think about water, they're just in it. It is what it is. And I don't think we recognize how oriented our churches are to women. It's just the water that we swim in and the way it's been forever. And we're just not thinking things through in a different and fresh way. These things, I must say, a lot of people have been saying a lot of these things for a long, long time. But in Islam, the most ardent adherents of Islam are men. In American Christianity, the most ardent followers in our churches are women. Now, there's certainly good men who are laying their lives out. There are some, but we all know that the bulk of the ministry and everything is getting done by women. We had recently a women camp experience. Just last weekend, our women were out having women camp. We have women camp, man camp, couples camp, vet camp, father-son camp, daughter gerbil camp. I mean, all kind of different camps. And like our volunteer ranks were decimated. They were utterly decimated.
Yeah.
Because an inordinate amount of our volunteers are women.
Yep.
That's where we are as churches, and you see it in our music. You know, the nice love songs that we have that guys scratch their heads about. Like, I like the song, "What a beautiful name it is, the name of Jesus Christ my Lord. What a beautiful name it is." I heard that, and I like that song, by the way. I worship the song. I like it a lot. But I don't want anyone calling Brian a beautiful name. Did Jesus want anyone calling his name a beautiful name? Did the male disciples ever go to Jesus and say, boy, Jesus, I got to tell you, your name is just beautiful. I wish they would have led with what a powerful name, which is also in that song. What a wonderful name. But that's the lead song. It's just something that guys disconnect. We don't want to sing songs about gazing into your face. The disciples never sang songs to Jesus, but I want to gaze in your face. I want to touch your face. No, that speaks to women. It doesn't speak to men. Our songs tend to not speak to men. Our events are people sitting in a living room with a book on their lap. So our small groups are. Come to the living room and sit a book on our lap and talk concepts. You and I might be okay with that, Rusty, because we read way more than the average male does. But the average male doesn't read books. They don't want to sit in a freaking circle with a book in their lap and talk about it. They want to do something, and out of something they're doing, maybe something will pop out of that. So there's just a lot of things that we're not doing to speak the language of men that we need to do. Our most, without question, the best thing we've done at Crossroads for a long time is we just recently broke a wild horse on stage. Did you see about that one, or check that one out?
No.
Yeah. So I met a buddy of mine, Todd Pierce. You really find that funny, aren't you?
I do. I just when I think I can't hear anything new. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah. So Todd Pierce, he's in Idaho. He's got this ministry. He goes to prison and stuff, and he breaks a wild horse, and he's got spiritual things about it. And as I was hearing him, what he said, I said, "I'd like to come to Crossroads and do that." And he said, "Churches always say that, but no one ever does." I said, "Well, we will." And he said, "All right, but I'm telling you, churches say they want to do it, but as soon as they look into the legality of it and this and that, they're just they don't do it. So if you actually follow through, you'll be the first. Like, we will follow through."
That's all you needed to hear.
That's all I needed to hear. So I came back. I told all of our financial folks, our community pastors, I said, "Look, this weekend is happening. It's going to happen. I don't know if you want tele insurance or not. If you're going to tell the insurance carrier and they shut us down, then we're just going to break the law. We're going to do this. So you can figure out whether we're going to tell insurance or not, but we're going to do this." So we had 3 services on a Sunday. They had brought a horse corral in. We had to find 3 different wild horses for each service. And Todd comes in, and there's sawdust on the floor, and the band plays along with it, and he can break a wild horse in under 60 minutes. Here's the thing, which is so stunning about this. broken horses are healthier than wild horses. They live longer than wild horses, and they're stronger than wild horses. One guy on the back of a broken horse can outrun and corral an entire herd of wild horses. Because when it's been broken by a powerful human being, his capacity increases. That's what it's like with God and us. When we get broken by God, our capacity increases, our strength increases. And what Todd does when he brings these horses in, all these horses have pain and they have difficulty, and he tries to find where that pain is, where they were hit, where they've been clubbed, maybe where they were branded multiple times or something like that. And when he finds that pain area, that's what he presses into. Because that's the thing that if he can get the horse to trust him with that pain, that's the thing that's going to unlock it. It was like one of our best attended services weekends ever, and people were just boo-hooing all over the place. I did that in large part because that was going to be a strong man move.
Yeah.
Now, women loved it as well. In fact, we're going to do it again next year. We did it on Father's Day. I realized Father's Day is not the right time for a couple reasons. One is, if I did Father's Day again, the women start to feel slighted. They go, wait, how come you don't care for the women? How come you don't care for the... We do care for the women. We just thought Father's Day would be a cool thing. We're going to do a Mother's Day, one, so women know that we are as equally for mothers as we are for fathers. Secondly, Mother's Day comes sooner. I want to do this again because I think we're going to go really big. And thirdly, mom can tell her husband, I want you to come to church with me this weekend.
Yeah.
Whereas Father's Day, he gets to do whatever the heck he wants to do.
Yep.
But mom says, I want you to come to church with me, and you never come to church, or you got something for him. So
great idea.
That's kind of one of those aggressive things. Like, what are we going to do that's beyond standard church? Because guess what, Rusty? If we want standard church, and by standard church, I mean great music and great preaching, we need that, but that's just the table stakes. That just gets you into the game.
Yep.
But we've got to be doing things with our churches that are outside the norm in order to stoke the imaginations of men.
That's fantastic. All right, I got to get Todd Pierce's number.
Yeah.
The craziest thing we ever did with an animal is we had a lion outside for kids to see. Hilarious, Brian, because I mean these are working actors out here in LA. So the lion rolls in a motor coach, air conditioned cage. They put him out in this pen, and all I'm thinking is, if that thing gets loose, I'm on CNN,
Yeah, right.
And all these kids have surrounded the cage to see the lion. And what's a cat do when he gets into a new territory? He just walks around and sprays everybody.
That's good.
It was awesome.
That's great. Yeah, John Acuff, he had that book, Stuff Christians Like.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if so he says, what do Christians love live animals.
They do love live animals.
Says, there's nothing that's going to drive the church down the street out of business faster than you having a live camel. You do that, your church is growing.